Keely and Carlos, and we travel. We got married in the beginning of 2022, and ever since we have been globetrotting and Instagram posting our way through Mexico. If you've been enjoying our content, please consider tapping that subscribe button and clicking the notification bell. We upload videos every Wednesday, and in fact, we're shooting from Koh Phi Phi in Thailand right now. So if you're interested in learning more about this island and other islands around Thailand, including Bangkok, stick around because that is coming soon. Today, we'd like to shed a little light on the beauty of central Mexico. Before I met Carlos, I had this very jaded view of what it would be like. I pictured lots of sand, destitute villages, and cacti. Pretty funny coming from me, a native of Phoenix, Arizona, otherwise known as the United States' 5th largest city, which is still categorized in people's head as a cactus-filled wasteland. When we arrived in central Mexico, I was so impressed by the beauty of the main cities we visited: Guanajuato, San Miguel de Allende, Queretaro, and Mexico City. So if you're interested in learning more about Guanajuato, the city built above a maze of underground tunnels, we recently released a whole video on it. Check it out. For today, we'll be focusing on San Miguel de Allende, Queretaro, and Mexico City. During our time in these areas, we were in full honeymoon phase. We didn't take a lot of photo or video, we're sorry about that, but we were completely wiped out by travel. We gathered a lot of really helpful information though, and we're here to share it with you today.
Let's start with San Miguel de Allende. San Miguel is a small but dreamy town. We stayed at a hotel called Amatista Boutique Hotel, just about 5 minutes walking from the center of town, so it was a really good location. We genuinely loved this hotel and the view from the rooftop. The only issue we had was that the shower didn't drain properly and one time overflowed. But believe it or not, that's actually a really common issue throughout a lot of these cities in central Mexico, especially in the historic centers, which are, pushing 500 years old.
Bad plumbing.
But for $30 a night, it's definitely worth it. We'd say we would definitely stay at this place again, especially since most of the attractions in San Miguel exist at the very center of town, such as the beautiful parish of St. Michael the Archangel. The church is absolutely the most stunning building either of us have ever come across in our life, and not bragging, but we've seen a lot of buildings and awesome architecture all over. It's extremely intricate and absolutely gigantic. And then right outside the entrance to the parish, every night mariachis play the most romantic music you can imagine in the gardens, and the music just floats through the gardens and the restaurants. And there's also food vendors that you can just go to and stick around until midnight and just snack away while you're listening to live music.
Cheap and romantic.
Yeah, that's our thing.
That's our thing. Cheap and romantic. There are also plenty of restaurants, candy shops, and knick-knack stores in the area. You will never lack for food. Our favorite restaurant to visit was Kibak Coffee, just a 5-minute walk south of the main square. The food and drinks are manageable in price, and the view on the rooftop is beautiful. We went almost every single day for coffee and a snack. You'll find many American prices in this area, especially when it comes to clothes. Make no mistake, this is a tourist destination very popular to influencers and wealthy foreigners. Don't expect to come here for the cheap nature of Mexico. You'll be able to find cheap street food if that's what you're looking for, but if you want to shop for clothing or eat in a nice restaurant, you're looking at American prices, but with better than American views and taste. Many people don't expect to hear this, but clothing is extremely expensive in Mexico. This was difficult for me the whole time we were there because I love clothes. I love shopping and fashion, and clothing in Mexico is so beautiful and unique. They have a lot of small brand stores with just gorgeous fashion, but it's even more expensive than it is in the US. If you've ever been to Francesca's or White House Black Market, those are the prices you'd be expecting to pay for small boutique here, sometimes upwards of $100 to $150 USD per dress, and we saw some for like $400 for just a dress, which is kind of crazy, but they are like boutiques, handmade clothing. And we also did a reel on this, but we went thrifting in Mexico City, and we found just like Rolling Stone band t-shirts for like $50 a piece.
Yeah.
Like, it is so expensive.
Or even like university t-shirts, like Notre Dame University football for like $40.
Right.
Just a t-shirt.
Because it's like American and trendy. It's super expensive. Whereas like it's a shirt you could go to Goodwill and get for like $3.50 in the US. And it's, $50 in Mexico.
However, if you're looking for lower price knickknacks, you have to visit Maso Ramirez Market. They also have a lot of jewelry here, and it's probably not real gold or silver, but it was very good quality. It's also quite cheap. We're talking maybe $2 to $3 for a pair of earrings.
Which I had some.
Yeah. Keely actually got a pair at this market that haven't tarnished to this day, and it's been, maybe 4 months now.
So these are the earrings. I've worn them a couple of times over the last couple months for long periods of time. They have not tarnished yet, and they were $4?
80 pesos.
Yeah, they're definitely not real gold, because how could they possibly be 80 pesos for real gold? But they haven't tarnished, and they haven't turned my ears green. And I have a problem with like fake jewelry where sometimes I get like infections. That's like a pretty common thing, yeah. And so these don't do that for me. So $3 for a good pair of earrings. I'm a fan.
But really, our favorite thing to do in San Miguel de Allende was to sit in the main square with some delicious street food from Andy's Taco Cart and just listen to the mariachis every night. and watching the sunset during the cathedral, just this most amazing colors and shades of pink that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then of course walking along the alleyways and the narrow streets of the city and just watching the colors change on the buildings as the sun sets. We've also posted a blog on Patreon about our time here in San Miguel, which includes some of our favorite photo spots and secrets of central Mexico. So if you're interested, go check it out. We appreciate all of your support.
Let's talk Queretaro. Queretaro is quite a large city of 1 million people. There is a lot to see, but we recommend staying near Zinnia Garden. We stayed in an Airbnb under the name El Jardín de la Abuela. We loved this place. The whole time we were there, it felt safe, quiet, very comfortable, and featured a huge flat screen TV. Not to mention the bed was
the most comfortable
so comfortable. In Thailand and in Mexico, we had a huge issue finding comfy beds. They're always so hard. So we had no issues here, no clogged drains, which was super cool. Every night, Zinnia Garden was wildly busy with singing, laughing, dancing, and nightly food markets. There were great restaurants and museums at every turn, including Museo Casa de la Zacatecana, a museum about a historical family in Querétaro. It was super creepy, and we really enjoyed our time there learning about the rich history of Querétaro. Also, it was super cool because at the top of the museum, there was a lookout tower, and you could see the whole city from this tower. So, I mean, yeah, I feel like that tower was worth it. Just if we were able to get to the tower for the amount we paid, it was only a couple dollars per person.
I think it was 70 pesos per person.
Yeah, so yeah, we paid maybe
What's that, $7, $8?
yeah, it was worth it. So if you're in the area, definitely go to the Zacatecana Museum. The area around Zinnia Garden is a relaxing place where you can take a stroll through the streets, visit Alameda Hidalgo, which is a large parking area, shop at local stores, and enjoy amazing Mexican food at great prices. We highly recommend that you try your best to eat at the night markets daily because you'll find some of the best Mexican food in Querétaro there for a cheap price. We also recommend that if you come across ceramic potted drinks, you buy one. They're only a couple of dollars and they're absolutely delicious. You can get them alcoholic and non-alcoholic with tahini and chamoy on the rim. There's no way to explain what is in these drinks other than that they're sweet, salty, carbonated, zesty, and a little tiny bit spicy.
But the best part about them is that you get to keep the pot afterwards. We were able to keep ours and take it home with us on the plane.
Somehow it didn't break in our luggage. I don't know.
And it's nice because every time we look at it, it's just a great reminder of our daily or nightly strolls through Querétaro. Our favorite restaurant in all of Central Querétaro is called Santa Cecina Taqueria del Barrio. We love this place. We literally salivate just thinking about it.
Yes.
We came across it on one of our last days in the city, and God, we would have eaten there every day if we had known about it. Here is the menu. We highly recommend that you get the Santo Plato with arrachera. You will not regret it.
As you saw in the beginning of the video, we also visited Curiquira, Querétaro, which is impossible for English speakers to pronounce, so I'm very proud of myself. This area is a local hotspot for people from all over the world to come and work at large companies based out of Querétaro. It also features a large lake called Lago El Cajon, where we visited Plaza Narica, which is quite lively for nightlife and get-togethers. Unfortunately, we weren't able to party it up with our cousins because I was experiencing a TMJ flare-up, but next time we go, we can't wait to walk around with our cousins and drink with Carlos's family. This area reminded us a lot of Arizona with beautiful neighborhoods and, from what we've heard, world-class hospitals. If you're going to end up in a hospital in Mexico, do it in Curiquira.
Lastly, Mexico City. Before we start off with Mexico City, we will say that this city is extremely walkable. Not quite as walkable as a city like Bangkok with its over-the-street walkways and large commuter trains, but you can definitely walk anywhere, and we did.
We did.
However, Ubers are not that expensive, typically $5 to $15 for medium to long trips, so definitely use ride-sharing apps to get around if you need to pass through something like Iztapalapa or similar areas.
Do your research before you just walk through a part of the city, especially if you're a female solo traveler. Make no mistake, guys, Mexico has a real female violence issue. Femicide and sexual violence runs deep here, so be very careful while you enjoy this country. There was not one point during our whole stay here that I was alone without Carlos. Even at our hotel, we would always try to sleep together. I don't want to scare you because I never felt in danger our whole time in Mexico, but I was also with Carlos the whole time you're in Mexico. So I'm just saying, be very cautious. Always know where your travel companion is, always fill out your area, and honestly, if you're a female solo traveler, or really anyone, consider carrying some self-defense tools.
Now on to the fun stuff. This is very common knowledge for people who live in Mexico, but we didn't know this. Mexico City is sinking. And I know that sounds clickbaity, but it's not. It really is sinking at quite a fast pace. The city used to be a lake bed, and as the bed continues to dry and the layers in the ground continue to crack, it can sink in some areas as much as 20 inches in 1 year. That's crazy. Because of the nature of the land, the bedrock in Mexico City experiences many earthquakes, both big and small. We've experienced a couple light earthquakes while we were there, and it was a little bit scary. The nature of the sinkage causes issues with the city's infrastructure, and you can see it visually on a lot of buildings which are kind of becoming lopsided or cracked in their foundations. It is also temperate here year-round because of its elevation and the surrounding mountains, which tends to kind of trap the cool air.
Another fun fact about Mexico City is that it is considered to have some of the best restaurants in the world.
In fact, of the top 100 best restaurants in the world, 4 of them are located in Mexico City, those being Pujol, Quintonil, Sud 777, and Alcalde. The food here is just different. We spent our time finding highly rated restaurants and visiting them. They did not disappoint. We will list a few of them coming up.
We spent almost a whole month in Mexico City, but we absolutely didn't experience all there was to see. It is a mammoth city packed very densely into 8,000 square kilometers. To put that into perspective, New York City spreads across 35,000 square kilometers. And even though New York is 4 times larger in size than Mexico City's main park, Chapultepec, is twice the size of New York City's Central Park. Twice the size. This place is huge. I'm telling you that when you're inside of Chapultepec, it feels like you are in the forest. The temperature declines dramatically, and you can't see the city unless you're at the very top of Chapultepec Mountain. It's more like a hill, Chapultepec Hill, where the infamous Chapultepec Castle lies.
We spent days exploring this park, feeding the squirrels, eating snacks on walks. It's one of our favorite things to do. A 10-minute ride west of Chapultepec, you'll find Museo Sumaya, which is a must-see. The museum itself is a piece of art that was donated by Fernando Romero. It's free to enter, and the area is filled with low-cost street food and modern architecture. On the opposite side of Chapultepec, heading east, you'll find El Ángel de la Independencia, just a 10-minute walk away. This is a beautiful structure in the middle of the largest roundabout in Mexico City. It's a definite must-see for the views, but also for the surrounding fruit stalls. We love our snacks. Also in the area of the Angel, particularly on the southeast side, you'll find many nightclubs and a huge party scene. This is known as La Zona Rosa. So if you're into that lifestyle, just head over to that area and check it out on Google Maps.
We also really enjoyed exploring Condesa and Roma Norte, which are beautiful neighborhoods in central Mexico City with amazing restaurants and shopping. In Condesa, we found the best Japanese food we have ever had. Now, this might seem confusing because, as many of you know, we once spent a couple of days exploring Tokyo, but while we were there, we weren't able to explore a wide range of Japanese delicacies, so although we had sushi and Japanese soups from local hotspots, we didn't get to experience the best of the best. So stay tuned on that one. One day we will be back in Tokyo, hopefully soon, probably not though, and we'll report what we find. As for now, Kura in Condesa is a must-see. They have these amazing Wagyu skewers that drip with gorgeous flavor and melt in your mouth. The salmon is creamy and the rice is fluffy with the perfect amount of rice vinegar applied. You really have to try it. Prices were mid-range, not too bad, and one day we will go again and absolutely gorge ourselves.
On those Wagyu skewers.
Yes, and we do have an Instagram reel on that, so go check that out too if you want to see.
We also recommend visiting El Hamil, which was our favorite Lebanese food that we've ever eaten. It cannot be beaten. Now, we will say that we think we may have gotten just a little bit sick from their crudo. It was so delicious that the possible food poisoning was 100%.
Yeah.
We will be back, and maybe we'll get hurt again, but we don't care. It was so delicious. Our other favorite place to visit in Roma Norte was Churreria El Moro. Now, this churro restaurant has a very deep history in Mexico City. It's incredibly famous for its original pairing of thick chocolate drink with churros. The original El Moro is located in Centro Histórico and has a whopping 45,000 Google reviews. The interesting thing about this location is that it's been open 24/7, not closing once since the day it opened its doors in 1933. That's right, even through the Great Depression, COVID regulations, and many economic downfalls, El Moro has never, not even for 5 minutes, closed its doors.
The only reason that Carlos and I chose to visit the Roma Norte location is because we didn't spend as much time in Centro Histórico, and the lines for the original El Moro are super long. Luckily, we've heard that the churros at all the El Moro locations are just about the same, but we still recommend you stop by the original location, even just to check it out, because it has a lot of magic. Speaking of Centro Histórico, just go there. You must see Bellas Artes, and the best way to see this place is by viewing it with arguably the best viewpoint in all of Mexico City.
We released a reel on how to get to this cool place, so go check it out on Instagram if you're interested. After Bellas Artes, make your way to Barrio Chino. It's quite a small Chinatown for such a large city. It's not really comparable to New York's or even San Francisco's, but in the surrounding areas, you'll find some delicious Mexican-inspired Chinese food. It isn't the most authentic Chinese food, we're sure, but we really enjoyed eating in that area. After Barrio Chino, we headed over through Avenida Quinto de Mayo, which is lined with beautiful 1900s architecture, tile buildings, and just gorgeous churches. At the end, you'll find Mexico City's Metropolitan Cathedral, which is the largest cathedral either of us have ever been in. And it was such a magical experience. There's also Palacio Nacional and many museums in the area.
Lastly, this will mean nothing to you if you're not spiritual or interested in the values of historical and scientific mysteries, but while we were in Mexico City, we had the absolute pleasure of viewing firsthand the cloak of Our Lady Guadalupe at the Basilica of Our Lady Guadalupe. Now, many don't know this story, and I had only heard about it 2 years ago when I officially started my transition into my own spirituality and faith network, but the mysteries of this cloak astound me.
Long story short, in 1531, a native Aztec by the name of Juan Diego was apparently visited by the Virgin Mary and was told to gather roses into his cloak from the top of the hill and present them to his local bishop as proof that he had, in fact, been visited by her holy presence. As it was the middle of winter and the growth of these fresh roses at the time would have been impossible without a miracle. So he gathered these miraculous roses from the top of the hill in the middle of winter into his cloak. He found the bishop and dropped the roses from his cloak in front of him. As he dropped the roses from his cloak, an image of the Virgin Mary appeared stained permanently on the fabric. Since this story began, scientists from around the world have struggled to explain just how the image of Our Lady got there.
We understand that it's easy to feel skeptical about the information that we've given you already, but in the 20th and 21st centuries, 5 attributes in particular have drawn scientific attention about this cloak. First, the material of the cloak has maintained its chemical and structural integrity for almost 500 years. This is crazy because most replicas of this exact fabric with the same chemical and structural composition last only 15 years before decomposition. There is currently no scientific explanation for its physical and chemical longevity. Second, for its first 115 years, the cloak was displayed without protective glass. This subjected it to soot, candle wax, incense, and human touching. Third, the original image of the Virgin herself does not appear to have been painted by an artist. There is no sketch underneath, no brushstrokes, and no corrections. It appears to have been produced in one single step.
Think flash photography.
Yeah, like flash photography.
These features were identified through scientific testing conducted by Dr. Philip Callahan, who was a biophysicist at the University of Florida and a NASA consultant. He photographed the image under infrared light and published his findings in 1981 in a paper titled The Tilma Under Infrared Radiation. Dr. Philip Callahan also noted that the original image on the tilma has not cracked, flaked, or decayed in over 500 years. The added paint and gold leaf, which had been added after the fact by the leaders of the parish, had flaked and deteriorated considerably. The phenomenon still has not yet scientifically been explained. Fourth, and personally our favorite, the eyes of the Virgin Mary have 3 remarkable qualities that cannot be explained through known technology in 1531.
Each would be difficult even to replicate with today's technology of computers, ophthalmological knowledge, and digital photography. Engineer Jose Tonsman has amplified an image of the pupils of the Virgin by 2,500 times. This allowed him to identify not only what appears to be the original bishop Zumarraga, but also several other witnesses of the miracle reflected extremely tiny inside. The images in the pupil also manifest the triple reflection called Samson-Perinke effect. This effect was completely unknown at the time of the image's formation.
The image in the eyes of the Virgin followed the curvature of the cornea precisely in the same way that it occurs in a normal human eye.
This was especially interesting to me because I didn't know about the study of the Virgin Mary's eyes on this tapestry before seeing it in person. I just knew the story of the cloak, so when I saw the cloak for the first time in person, I remarked to Carlos as we passed by that her eyes seemed to follow you in a severely lifelike way. There's no way to explain it other than that you feel the presence of hope in viewing this tapestry. It was then that he explained the scientific phenomenon that is the Virgin Mary's eyes.
Although we spent close to 2 months in central Mexico, we of course could never completely capture all of the amazing things that exist here. There are many destinations that we wanted to go to but ran out of time, things like pyramids of Teotihuacan, Puebla, and of course las Grutas de Tolantongo.
So if you've been to these cool places or have suggestions for places we should go in Central Mexico, please leave a comment down below because we would love to hear about them. DM us some pics of your recent travels to Central Mexico on Instagram and we'll pop them up on our story.
If you've been following us for a while, you know that at the end of each of our videos we include a quick little slideshow, some of our favorite shots that we took during our travels in each location. So please stick around if you're interested in connecting the dots.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing and finding us on Instagram, TikTok, and Patreon where we post our favorite travel photos, vlogs, and other fun activities. We hope you have a wonderful day and remember, never stop searching for awe.